Well, that leads us into our next segment. We're going to be talking about buying the dip today, right? That's what this Wealth Wednesdays is going to be about. And we're going to be discussing what buying the dip means. We're going to be reiterating that because, like Flash was just talking about with the cryptos, there's opportunity out there to get these assets at a quality price, right? Cheaper than you think, right? The same price that you would go pay for an outfit, same price you would go pay for a date, all of it, man. So we're going to be talking about what buying the dip means and all of it. So, how would you describe buying the dip?
Describe it in the terms of what I would do or what it looks like.
For the viewer, what it looks like. What does buying the dip look like when it comes down to, let's do it in crypto. How do you go about buying the dip, buying the assets, and all of it?
So I'm gonna go back to this right here, and I'm gonna use XRP as a prime example. Actually, I'm gonna go to the XRP chart. XRP chart right here. We got these big dips, right? And so there is this level here at $1.80, right? Bang. And say we had set up what buying the dip looks like. As a trader, you would, or an investor, as an investor, you would find exactly where price aligns with, just like you say, price doesn't, the market doesn't, history repeats itself. And the market rhymes, right? How you say it? What you be saying, man? What you be saying?
What is it? History doesn't always repeat itself, but in the market it rhymes.
Come on.
In the market, when it comes down to history, it doesn't always repeat itself, but it often rhymes.
Bang. With that being said, we see right here that we're on the daily, there is a bit of a consolidation around this point here at $1.49, right? And we're really close to it. We're really close to right there. That being said, this would be a perfect buying opportunity because we see all this. We see this whole upside, right? And we see that price is $1.50. We seen that the high is $3.60. So when it comes to buying the dip, you look at fundamentals and then technicals afterwards, right? Fundamentally, we see price, or fundamentally, we know what XRP does. We know what XRP has in store and what they're gonna go be, what they plan on doing with the world and how we're gonna flow through cryptocurrency, right? So bang, with XRP being $1.05, sounds perfect. Now the technical part is exactly what I just did. I found a point within the market that seems like it hasn't been, let's call it touched. This point of the market right here hasn't been came into until just about right now, which would lead me to think that this right here where we're at current price is a perfect buying opportunity for buying the dip. Yeah. Let me drag this one. Perfect opportunity right here for buying the dip. Especially if we break below this level, it's nothing more but a buying opportunity. That increase. So you buy at let's say the next week, XRP goes down to $1.03, $1.30.
Yeah.
That's about right here. Oh, that's $1. We see price nothing but a great opportunity ultimately.
Yeah. So for the beginners and for the people who are just not getting started, when it comes down to buying a dip, it's simply just buying these assets, buying whatever stock or crypto at a price that is lower than the actual value and the value that you may even think it may be, right? So just like he expressed, XRP is at $1.50 right now, but you can see that up here in this area that I'm about to circle, this area is, let's do that one. That's around $2 to the range of $3, right? So if it sits in a range of $2 to $3, and we know that's where the value lies, right? And now it's at $1.50, that would be a good buying opportunity because of the value of the crypto and the price that it's at. It's at a discounted price based off what it's actually valued. So today we're going to be talking about how we spot those opportunities so you guys can do that yourself. He just talked about doing it for XRP. I'm just going to bring up, let's talk about that recent Apple example that I just talked about on Instagram. If you guys don't follow the Instagram, go hit us, go follow us at the Full Circle Wealth Instagram. We come with daily clips, right? And I had just posted clips about a clip about Apple, right, which is what I've been talking about in the Discord, right? So every Saturday and Sunday I come with some stocks that I've been looking at the chart, right? And I've been talking about this the last couple of weeks. So this is a good example of buying a dip as well. So we see that Apple usually is up in this range between two. It came from this range of 267, 270 to almost $300, 280, right? You had that you had that bearish move from 288 all the way to the downside of 243. But the reason that I was thinking that it would be a good buying opportunity is because this is the resistance, this is the support. When we got to this level of 255, right? Last time we got here, we consolidated and moved up. This time, we kind of did the same thing. We ended up breaking down. This was a range, right? So a demand zone is where people buy, right? I kind of touched on that in my Monday Madness, but a demand zone is where people are buying, while a supply zone is where people are selling. When it got to this 255, I'm like, okay, this is a demand zone. Potentially, price could move back up to the upside. You don't want to get to predicting. You kind of want to wait for price to do what it does, right? So here, if I would have got into early at 255 and said, oh, I want to buy some stocks I want to buy right now, I would have lost a couple dollars before it moved back up to the upside, which isn't the worst because in the long run, you're always going to make your money back. But if you were trading, that's bad because you didn't wait until it actually started moving up in that direction. You just ended up buying when it got to that level, thinking it was going to move up to the upside. I've done that before. Don't do that, right? I learned my lesson the hard way. Long story short, you can see based off of this support level, this is support, but last time it was lower than support and you saw consolidation. It came to this low of 243, right? So I have marked that previously, and back what Flash was talking about, history doesn't always repeat itself, but it often does rhyme. You may not see the same exact thing, but you may see something very similar, if not the same exact thing. So we got 243 hit again, and it moved back from 243 to 275, right? And the only reason why I was able to see that and take advantage of the opportunity and give you guys that opportunity as well to take advantage was because I'm looking at this chart and I can see the value lies up here, but right now it's discounted right here. So don't be afraid to buy when it's red. And I want us to go into that next. I'm gonna ask you that, when you see markets are red, right, like we are today, how did you change your mindset? How did you go about the mindset when it came down to taking advantage of those red days? Were you always ready to take advantage of those red days, or were you starting off, were you kind of scared to buy when it was red?
I'm gonna be honest, yes. When it came to, when it came to seeing markets, the psychology of the charts, you gotta have your mind kind of screwed on. Mm-hmm. And so for someone just starting out, it'd be like, damn, ooh, I see green, right, all day. I must buy because it's because it's green. Mm-hmm. And that's obviously that's wrong. And that's why we're talking about this today. But that was my mindset at first. I was scared because I'm thinking that I see red. That means I'm going to lose my money. And I'm not thinking of a trader standpoint. I'm thinking of an investor standpoint, right? So just like you said, I could have got in here, but price could still be going down here, right? So I would definitely, once upon a time, I was definitely scared to get in at this point, not knowing what it would look like at the end. Yeah. And so, yeah, now flipping that, right? My mindset of when it's red, obviously it's a buying opportunity, right? Investor. But what got me to that point was realizing that, just like you said, the value's up here, yeah, right? And knowing that if this is where we were, and knowing that we're speaking upon Apple right now, so knowing that this is where we were, and I have an iPhone, you have an iPhone, I got a MacBook, right? You got a MacBook. Everybody has these types of products. There's no way that the value down here doesn't come back up, or the price down here doesn't come back up to this value up here, yeah, right? So that is my mindset when it comes to seeing red and getting into it and buying the dip.
And over time, it'll become easier because even for me, when I had first started getting into investing, I would think that red. I would see the red, and it's gonna have you thinking that you're losing money, or you're supposed to be thinking negatively, or such and such, such and such. But I like what you said about if I know that Apple is still a prominent, it's still very prominent in the economy. People are using iPhones, people are using their products, all of this stuff. The thesis of why I bought hasn't changed, so that should take the fear away.
Right.
So for anybody, yeah. So with it being red, and with today being a red day, and like I was talking about, the SP 500 moving down to the downside, Bitcoin moving down to the downside, we wanted to emphasize looking at these days as opportunities, right? When you hear people talk about a market being crashed, that's usually an indication of really to buy. And the more you are in this market, the more you see that. There was something that when I was first starting, people always said, when they say crash, that's the time to buy because they're only trying to make prices lower to give themselves an opportunity. And you see that time and time again, right? Even when, I'll watch CNBC and see them talking about certain stocks and they'll be talking down upon it. I know that's that time to buy because you guys are just talking down upon it, and that increases the likelihood of it to be pushed down lower to a better price. So, yeah, take advantage of those dips, man. Passing it off to you.